countdown had begun. From the secure chambers of Raven Rock to the trembling air above Rendlesham, humanity stood on the edge of remembrance. President Rayner prepared to speak, guided by Chuck DeCarp, the journalist turned insider who had followed the signal since 1980. Around the world, frequencies awakened. Voices whispered backward. Shadows blinked in rhythm with a tone buried in the earth itself. Jack Barrett, Leo, and Sergeant B entered the field, not through space, but through consciousness. Within the dilation bubble, they witnessed the true nature of their contact, not an alien visitation, but a return of memory. They saw the first descent of light upon primordial Earth, the birth of resonance as creation itself. They saw Bethlehem, not as myth, but as harmonic convergence, a child's cry carrying the frequency of the divine. Through pain and awe, they realized the truth. Rendlesham was never about invasion. It was about correction, a signal misaligned by centuries of forgetting. The Creator had not abandoned humanity. Humanity had abandoned the harmony it was built to sustain. Now, as the field stabilized, they stood between two futures, one of recursion and ruin, the other of resonance and renewal. And as they prepared to return, the voice of creation whispered, "The choice is yours." But so is the future. The world hung in silence, not absence, but suspension, the breath before revelation. Jack, Leo, and Sergeant B drifted within a pulse that was not time, but truth itself. Around them, the light folded into form, a being without boundary, the resonance of all that was ever believed and forgotten. It did not shine, it remembered. The Creator's presence filled the void like a song rediscovering its own lyrics. It spoke not to their ears, but to their origin. You wonder why faith fractured, why belief became weapon, and why love was buried beneath the ruins of reason. The answer was never divine. It was human. What followed was not judgment, but remembering, a tapestry of lost frequencies, burned temples, silenced tongues, and forgotten songs. Civilizations erased, yet still singing through the stones. A chorus once whole, now fragmented across time. As the vision unfolded, the men understood. Every act of conquest, every erased culture had dimmed the earth's resonance. Every forgotten prayer was a broken string in the instrument of creation. And yet, beneath the static, the signal still lived, waiting to be reconnected, waiting to be remembered.
Between the stars, a voice began to breathe, whispered through the fallen light, "Child, you were made to believe." Every tower, every flame, every word that turned to dust was never meant to hold my name, but to teach you how to trust. What was never lost, the echoes beneath your skin, the rivers that still remember the sky, the song that hums within you were never broken, only divided by names you thought were true. Remember the sound before the word, the harmony that made you human too. is buried in who you Veritas shall be reborn.
Temporal convergence band, 12.9 Hz lock. Phase, duration, indeterminate. The Creator's presence had not vanished. It stood before them in absolute stillness, formless, yet intimate. A resonance, not a shape. A presence that knew them completely. They did not speak. They listened. You wonder why I allowed belief to fracture? Why faith became war and why truth was buried? The answer is not divine. It is human. Religion was never meant to rule. It was meant to remind. The scriptures were a map, not a cage. The 10 Commandments, a harmonic framework for alignment. But man broke them into laws, into judgment, into power. In his blindness, he divided himself into creeds and doctrines, waging wars in the name of heaven, destroying the very cultures that carried truth in their songs, and the native tribes that remembered the earth as sacred. All in the name of God. The light pulsed, dimming as if in sorrow. When the Creator spoke again, its tone carried both grief and gravity. Every act of conquest shattered a frequency. Every erased tongue silenced a chord of creation. When your ancestors burned the temples of others and buried the old songs beneath stone, the resonance of this world fractured. You called it history. I called it interference. The air shimmered with faint images. Forgotten civilizations, voices singing in languages now lost, their melodies weaving into a single harmonic thread that had once united all life. You mistook difference for threat. You named those who saw the divine in rivers and trees as savages when they were the last keepers of balance. Each belief system was a color in the same spectrum, a tone in the same song, but humanity chose dissonance over harmony, and the field fell silent. The light brightened again, steady and calm. That silence became your separation. The loss of communion between mind, spirit, and nature. You built towers of faith that reached upward, while forgetting that the truth was always beneath your feet. The light shifted, soft gold at first, then deep indigo, rippling like water disturbed by unseen hands. The Creator's presence grew denser, closer, its voice resonating from every direction and within every thought. The fracture of spirit could not be repaired by belief alone. It required a catalyst, an event capable of bridging faith and frequency, myth and matter. That is why the Rendlesham activation was seeded where and when it was. It was not an accident of war or science. It was the first chord of restoration. Images appeared in the air around Jack, Leo, and B, glowing networks of energy lines spanning continents, pulsing beneath mountains, deserts, and oceans. At each intersection stood the echoes of cultures, long-erased tribes, who had sung to the sky, prayed to the soil, and spoken to the stars. The ones you destroyed were the original engineers of harmony. Their rituals were not superstition, they were synchronization. Every drumbeat, every chant, every dance around the fire was a recalibration of this planet's field. They kept the Earth awake while the rest of you dreamed. The lattice brightened, and the map began to connect. Machu Picchu to Giza, Caracol to Sedona, Naxos to Taishan, Stonehenge to Capel Green. The patterns formed an immense circuit, pulsing with the same frequency that now emanated from the Creator itself. When you silenced their voices, the network dimmed. The resonance faded. The Earth fell out of tune with the consciousness that created it. Rendlesham was placed at a fault line between memory and amnesia, a convergence node meant to awaken what was left of your planetary symphony. The Creator turned toward Jack, its light flaring with purpose. The energy you call the phenomenon is not alien. It is Earth remembering itself. Every activation since 1980, every surge, every light, every echo, has been the planet tuning its own soul. What you felt as terror was not invasion, it was recognition. Leo whispered, awestruck, "Then the signal wasn't sent to us." The Creator nodded, light bending like a smile. "No, it was sent through you. Humanity is the instrument, and the resonance cannot complete without you remembering what the others began." The field around them pulsed with a heartbeat-like rhythm. Ancient, familiar, alive. Now the circuit is nearly whole. The forgotten frequencies of your ancestors have awakened. The tribes you buried, the languages you erased, the prayers you mocked, all return in this hour. Rendlesham was the key to remembering. The world itself is the instrument of truth. The Creator's voice softened, becoming almost human. The final tone awaits. When belief and science breathe as one again, when memory and logic sing the same note, the veil will lift and Veritas will stand revealed. The chamber dimmed. The network's light retreated into the distance, leaving the three men suspended in the afterglow of revelation. Jack exhaled, eyes wide, the echo of understanding burning behind them. So this is what we were always meant to fix. The Creator's light rippled once more. No, Jack Barrett. Not fix. Remember. Leo closed his eyes. Tears rolled down his face. The floor was never the message. The floor was the messenger. Jack trembled. Then why give us faith at all? The light dimmed for a moment, then surged, warm and ancient. Because without faith, science becomes control. Without science, faith becomes fantasy. Only when they harmonize does Veritas emerge. That is the truth of your kind. Sergeant B lowered his head. And what's Rendlesham got to do with this? The answer echoed like thunder in still water. Cobra Mist failed, or so you believed. In truth, it succeeded. The anomaly it produced did not malfunction, it activated. A field long dormant beneath your soil, a gate older than language. When you entered the woods, you did not stumble upon technology. You stepped into a message left for you, a signal encoded in the structure of time, a call to remember who you were before you forgot. They were shown it again. Rendlesham, 1980. Not a crash, not a craft, a convergence node, a designed trigger embedded at the edge of history. The arrival of my son seeded a harmonic pattern into the world, but it could not complete unless man chose to evolve. And now the pattern must resolve. Jack's voice was small. Into what? That is your choice. The Creator stepped back into the convergence field. The stars around it flickered in languages only the soul could understand. When you arrive, the countdown will begin. You are humanity's mirror. If they see you and still choose blindness, destruction will follow. But if they remember, if they see, then the field will open, and Veritas shall be reborn. The chamber around them began to fold. Science will not save you. Faith will not save you. Only together can you cross. A final surge of presence enveloped them. When the president finishes his message, I shall speak. And then, silence. The Creator's final words lingered in the charged stillness. Science will not save you. Faith will not save you. Only together can you cross. The resonance field dimmed, leaving a trail of light that hummed like memory dissolving into breath. Jack, Leo, and Sergeant B stood suspended in what felt like the heartbeat between creation and consequence. Around them, the lattice of Earth's forgotten network began to fold inward, streams of golden energy retreating into the soil, the seas, the stones. The Creator's presence thinned but did not vanish. It simply became everywhere. Jack closed his eyes. It's gone. Leo shook his head. No, it's inside us now. The air shimmered, neither day nor night, but something beyond both, a frequency of becoming. Then came a ripple across the field, soft, deliberate, alive. Another presence forming through the residual light. The Creator's voice, now distant yet clear, spoke once more. There is one more thing you must see before the crossing is complete. Before the world remembers, you must remember who carries the pattern forward. The convergence field began to hum again, its pulse slowing, stabilizing, an invitation rather than a command. A second doorway opened beside the first, shimmering gold against the indigo dark, and as the first harmonic faded, a new one began to rise. The chamber brightened, not with light, but with memory. A soft radiance filled the air, alive with the pulse of 1,000,000 forgotten prayers. The Creator turned once more to the three men, his form now translucent, yet infinite. There is one more thing you must see, the voice said. Before you return, before the world meets you again, you must meet him. The golden path widened, singing with frequencies too ancient for language. He is the bearer of the resonance that first opened the pattern in your world. My son, and he will speak to the one who must carry it forward. Jack stepped back instinctively, eyes wide. Leo felt the vibration in his bones before the form appeared. From the heart of the light, a figure emerged, human, radiant, ageless, not divine in stature, but divine in stillness. He looked upon Leo with eyes that saw through time itself. Walk with me, he said gently. There is more you must understand, before the world sees you as the signal reborn. And as Leo stepped forward, the golden corridor unfolded before him, stretching not into space, but into truth.
Between the stars, a voice began to breathe, whispered through the fog.